In the quiet corridors of the Tema International Maritime Hospital, the beeping of machines and the hushed whispers of nurses mixed with the heavy silence of a family whose world had just been turned inside out. The woman who had, only months ago, lit up screens across Ghana with her sharp wit, radiant smile, and fearless honesty, lay still, her life ending at the age of 42, her story cut short just as it seemed to be reaching its brightest chapter. Beverly Afaglo, the beloved Ghanaian actress, television presenter, and entrepreneur, has died after a long and exhausting battle with cancer, a fight that she faced with the same courage and grace that she brought to every role, every interview, and every interaction with her fans. Her manager, Abu Idris, speaking to Ghana Weekend, described the final moments in a way that made the loss feel deeply personal. It happened last night around 11:45 p.m. at the Tema International Maritime Hospital, he said, his voice steady but heavy with grief. She's been battling cancer for 2 years. It's been a relentless war. She really fought hard, and this is where it ended. He went on to explain that the disease had been in her family, a genetic legacy that had already taken her father and sister, and that the cancer had spread in a way that even the most aggressive treatments could not completely contain. Yet, even as her body weakened, her spirit never faded. She lived to the fullest till her last breath, he added. During the premiere and promotion of Pimp's Paradise, she was still undergoing treatment. So, she lived until the cancer took her. Beverly Afaglo, born Beverly Afaglo Ba on May 28, 1983, in the Volta region of Ghana, grew up in a place that, while quiet, produced a woman whose life would be anything but ordinary. The daughter of a family that had already been touched by the same disease that would later claim her, Beverly's early years were marked by a kind of quiet resilience, a sense that life could be beautiful, but also fragile, something that had to be cherished while it lasted. She discovered her love for the stage early, through school drama clubs, where she would lose herself in other people's lives, in a way that words could become movement, movement could become emotion, and emotion could become transformation. From there, her path toward performance felt almost inevitable, a calling that she never really questioned, only pursued. Her career took off in the early 2000s, a time when Ghana's film and television industry was still finding its footing, still learning how to tell its own stories, still trying to find its voice. Beverly stepped into that world with a confidence that belied her years, a presence that felt both natural and magnetic. She appeared in films such as The Game, in which she earned a nomination for Best Actress in a Supporting Role at the 2010 Ghana Movie Awards, a recognition that placed her among the brightest young talents of her generation. Her performance in the movie was not just technically impressive. It was emotionally honest, the kind of acting that felt like it came from a deep understanding of the characters she was portraying, as if she had lived their lives, or at least had walked alongside them for a while. Television, too, became a natural home for her. She hosted shows, appeared on talk programs, and became a familiar face in the way that a favorite relative or a trusted friend becomes familiar, someone whose presence makes you feel slightly more at ease. Her ability to speak directly to the audience, to look into the camera, and say something that feels like it is being said just to you, made her stand out in an industry crowded with voices that sometimes sounded more like echoes than original sounds. She was not just a performer. She was a communicator, a woman who believed that the best kind of entertainment is the kind that leaves you feeling understood, a little less alone, a little more seen. Off the screen, her life took a different shape, a quieter one, but one that still carried the weight of her public persona. She was married to Eugene Kwadwo Bodaba, known to many as Prey or Choir Master, a popular Ghanaian hip-hop and Afropop artist whose music had shaped the sound of a generation. Their relationship was not just a union of two artists. It was a partnership between two people who understood the demands of the public eye, the way fame can both illuminate and complicate a life. They had two daughters, two young girls who grew up in the midst of the noise of the industry, but who also grew up in the quiet circle of family, the kind of circle that can only be broken by the inevitability of time. The couple's relationship was often described as strong, built on a shared understanding of the pressures of the spotlight and the need to create a home that felt like a sanctuary, a place where the world outside could not intrude too deeply. In recent years, Beverly had begun expanding her life beyond the screen, building a business empire that reflected the same determination and creativity that had defined her work in the industry. She trained as a beauty therapist at the FC Institute of Beauty Therapy in Ghana, a move that connected her to the world of skincare, hairstyling, and the quiet, intimate rituals that women create around self-care. Her salon, Glamour Beauty Salon, became a place where clients came not just to be pampered, but to feel seen, to feel listened to feel the kind of attention that she had always given to her roles, to her audience, to her fans. In 2024, she launched a new business venture, Traffic Shawarma, a restaurant that reflected her love for food, for flavor, and for the way that a meal can become a moment of connection, a shared experience that can bridge the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Her net worth, while not officially documented, has been estimated at around 10,000 Ghana cedis, a figure that reflects her work as an actress, a television presenter, and an entrepreneur, as well as the modest scale of her businesses. The number is not large by the standards of modern celebrity wealth, but it is meaningful, a reflection of a life built not on one explosive hit, but on a steady accumulation of work, of small victories, of projects that, taken together, create a life that feels substantial, even if it is not spectacular. Her lifestyle was one of practical comfort, of a woman who could move between the bright lights of the studio and the quiet corners of the salon, between the noise of the set and the quiet of the kitchen, between the public and the private, without ever losing herself in either. What stands out most about Beverly's life is the way she approached her illness, not with denial, but with a kind of open, honest, almost defiant honesty. In a throwback video that surfaced after her death, she spoke candidly about the reality of her situation, warning her fans that "my life is at risk," a moment that many now interpret as her way of preparing them, of trying to soften the shock of her passing, of trying to give them a kind of permission to mourn, a permission that came with the understanding that she had already done her own grieving, already made peace with the idea that her time might be shorter than anyone had hoped. Her husband, Eugene, made the announcement of her death on his Instagram page, writing a short, heartfelt message that captured the immense weight of the loss in a way that felt both public and deeply personal. Her death, on May 24th, 2026, was not just the end of a life, it was the end of a voice that had spoken for the quiet, the marginalized, the overlooked, the women who often feel like they have to choose between being seen and being heard. Beverly Afaglo never made that choice. She existed in the space where both are possible, where visibility and honesty can coexist, where the act of being seen does not mean losing the right to be heard. For her fans, the loss is not just of a performer. It is of a person who had become a kind of companion, a voice that felt like it was sitting next to them on the couch, talking not just to the camera, but to the part of them that felt unseen, that felt unheard, that felt invisible. If her story, the image of a woman who fought a deadly disease while still living fully, still working, still creating, and still smiling, even when the future was uncertain, moved you, please consider giving this video a like and sharing it with someone who might need a reminder that beauty, in the most profound sense, does not come from perfection, but from the courage to be real, to be honest, and to be present, even in the midst of pain. If you want to stay connected to stories like this one, stories of people who have left their lives behind in the quiet corners of the screen, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new episode.